Hello everyone, I'm Karthi Vignesh. In this video, we're going to talk about exercise number one in the computer communication networks lab, which is basic network troubleshooting commands. So basically, we're just gonna execute a bunch of commands that is used for network troubleshooting, which is a it is a very basic level of commands. So it is easily understood by most of them who are familiar with laptops and networks. So I'm about to execute like around 16, 17 commands which I already documented in my record. So I'm just gonna execute the commands in the command prompt and we're gonna just check each of the commands output. So the first command here is the host name command. So basically this command displays the name of the host that we are running on. So basically in my case, it displays the laptop's name. My laptop's name is CyberCage and it will be displayed. As you can see, it has been displayed CyberCage when I execute the command host name. So moving on to the next one, next command. The next command is to ping. A ping command is used to check whether we have access over the network, which is basically whether we can access some specific network location. So in our case, I'm just gonna ping my home address, and it shows us stats like the bytes sent, the time, the latency, and stuff like that. And it also shows us the number of packets sent, the number of packets received, and how many packets did we lost. And we lost zero packets in this case. So moving on to the next one, it is the ipconfig command. Ipconfig command is basically the internet protocol configuration. It is a console application. It basically shows the it displays all the TCP and IP configuration values and DHCP stuff. So I'm just gonna execute it. So it displays a bunch of information, and this information is really valuable if you know what we are going to do with it. So it shows us the IPv4 address, the subnet mask that we are under, and it also shows us whether we are connected in different adapters, different network adapters that's in my laptop. So here it shows the stuff about my actual Wi-Fi driver, and here it shows the information about the VirtualBox, which is a virtual machine that I have installed in my laptop. So moving on, the next command is the variation of the same ipconfig command. So this command is used to display it displays even further details when compared to the previous command. So I'm just gonna execute it again, ipconfig and all. So as you can see, the output range itself is very like, as you can see, this one has like this much amount of information, and when we press all, it shows even more information regarding my computer. So it shows the host name, the node type, and each of the adapters. Very deep details like the description of my controller, the physical address, whether I have DHCP dynamic, uh, what is that, dynamic host, DHCP enabled auto configuration and stuff like that, and it shows for every adapter that's in my laptop. And this is the Wi-Fi adapter that I have, and it's the physical address, and it has DHCP enabled, and it's working under this mask, and it is working in IPv4 this preferred address. So these kind of information are really valuable when you are troubleshooting a network. And so we are going to the next command. So next command is to ipconfig release. So ipconfig release command allows you to drop the IP release from the DHCP server. Basically, when we have there are two modes when we are connecting to a network. Where the two modes are, one is static mode and the another one is DHCP mode. So static mode is where you specify the information about your connection. Basically, you specify the IP address, you specify the DNS that we are going to use in the network, and stuff like that. So if you are giving it as static, then it's a different case. You can't do IP config release with that configuration. So when we are using DHCP, which is automatic, it automatically takes a IP address into leash every time you connect, and it changes every time you connect with that specific network. I think so. Sorry, specific network every time we connect to it. And when we are going to give IP config release, it basically changes to a new IP address. Like, it works only for this one because it is the only active network connection that we have, and everyone has it, and every other like adapters has its media disconnected, which is basically no internet access. So moving on, It is to renew. It renews ipconfig renew. I mean ipconfig renew command renews all your IP address that you are currently using from the DHCP server. And ipconfig like these stuff got renewed. We won't be able to see those changes here because these changes are not shown here, shown over here. So moving on, the next one is the ipconfig flush DNS. So the DNS is the like a path that we go through while connecting to a network, and if we have issues through the DNS, we will not be able to access whatever we're trying to access, and it will throw some like there will be network issues. So basically, this command is used when we have diagnosed that the DNS is the problem, and we are flushing the DNS to a new one. I mean, we are resolving the cache data over there. And the next one is nbt stat a. nbt stat is basically the command that is used, I mean basically the net bios for TCP and IP. It is a command that gives you diagnostic tools and stuff over the network that we are currently at. And it has various variations like first one is adapter status, which is used by the which can be accessed by giving a host name, and capital A, which is can be used to display everything about this certain IP address, cache names, resolved cache, etc., etc. So moving on, the next command is the route command. Routing is basically shows you the computer's routing table, which is basic, which is the like the route that we go through while connecting to a network, when we are connected to a network. And yep, this is the output of the route command, and it will show you the whole syntax of everything that can be done with the route command, and it also shows you the examples and things like that. Because route, if you just print route, it is basically it will just show you the help about the route command. So here we are giving route print. So this is used to print the entire routing table of your computer, and as you can see, it displays like from here it will display all the routing commands, and we have the following IPv4 routes, and these are the routes. And as you can see, my home address is also here, and other various like these are the probably the internet IP addresses that I'm currently on. And so yeah, moving on to the next one. The next one is tracer command. Tracer command is basically a list of all the routers that a packet has to go through from the computer to the any other computer on the internet. So basically, it shows us the traveling path. And if you just give tracer, it will just show you the syntaxes of how you can use this command. So moving on, we have the command called nslookup. Nslookup is used for diagnosing DNS problems again. So we're just gonna execute it. And sorry, the syntax is we have to give the website name after nslookup, or else it won't work properly. So I'm just gonna give nslookup google.com, and it shows us the name of the things and the addresses where the google.com is set. So this is basically telling me that the DNS is working fine and I can access this thing through the DNS lookup. So next one is the netstat. Netstat is used to display the various statistics about the TCP and IP connection that we have in my laptop. And when the netstat command is executed, we'll get an output window similar to this, and it's getting executed right now. As you can see, it shows you the different. And these screenshots are differing because every time when we execute the command, there will be different types of ports and things that are being active right now, and this can't be replicated in most cases. And yep, this is the output of the netstat command. And moving on, they are using netstat a command. It is a variation of the netstat command again, which is used to display the statistics of various connections like TCP and IP connections in my laptop. And netstat a, it is used to display all the connections, all the listening ports. It displays extra information. Like it shows you what are the like TCP protocols that are listening right now, and which are like close and waiting and things like that. It will take a little bit of time to finish executing. So I'll just minimize it and just go to the next command right now. So next one is netstat s. It is used to display per protocol statistics. It is basically the IPv4 and IPv6, and the statistics regarding it, like the ICMP, yep, the ICMP and the UDP and things like that for each protocol. So we'll execute the command right after this one gets finished. I think my internet connection is bad right now because it's taking quite a long time. So the command has stopped. So the command has stopped executing. So from here, we have like few other routes that has been displayed by the command. So the next one that we're talking about, the next command that I already mentioned is the netstat and it will show you the like, per protocol statistics. And I'm just gonna execute it. As you can see, it's a lot of data right here, and we're just gonna go through it. So first one is IPv4 general statistics, which is packet received, packet received header, received address errors, and this is basically errors, and this is basically the packets delivered and packets that we have to discard because it was bad or damaged, and the discard or output packet is that we sent but that was not properly sent, stuff like that. And IPv6 statistics are right here, and then ICMP4, ICMPv4 statistics are right here, and ICMPv6 and TCP, and we have UDP for IPv4 and IPv6 separately. So this is the basically the statistics that we need if you're just going too deep with the computer's network statistics. So next one is to the netstat RN. So it displays the routing table and displays the address and the ports in the numerical format. So I just want to execute it. So as you can see, it's displaying all the again the routing table and the persistent routes, active routes, stuff like that that we'll be using. And next command is path ping. Path ping is basically we're pinging. Basically, it's a mix of traceroute and ping, and we're just pinging the path. This is to locate the spots that have network latency and network loss, and this is not getting executed right now because the path ping without any inputs is basically asking for help, and it will just show you what kind of options this path ping command has. So moving on to the next one, we have traceroute, and this we have already seen, but we are just going to use it traceroute's functionality, and we are gonna trace it to the google.com. So I'm just gonna execute this command, and it will show you the list of routers that a packet has to go through. So basically, when I executed this time, it had 9 routers, and we're just gonna trace it right now here also. So right now it's going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 routers, and these are the like the latencies for 3 hops, for 30 hops. Yep, it's for 30 hops, more than 30 hops. Basically, the average of, I guess. This is the 8th route that it's going through. Okay, the trace is complete, and this is the output that we have, and this is the tracer's output, and it has to go through 8 routes. right? It has to go through 8 routers to reach the google.com. So moving on to the next command, we have RPA. This is the last command of this exercise, and this command is used to get us the short address resolution protocol. I mean, this the short form for address resolution protocol, and it will show you the IP address for your computer along with the IP and MAC and stuff like that. So yeah, we are getting the internet address, the physical address, and we are getting the types. So this is dynamic is the DHCP that we talked about earlier, and the rest are static IDs that we can't change or we can't modify it ourselves. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of this exercise. Hope you guys understood it. And yeah, that's it for today's video. See you guys in the next one.